In this specific episode, I want to tell you why I think Bitcoin is the consistent one. The first reason why Bitcoin exists, there are a lot of people in this world that live in economies that they are not happy about. Majority of those people are able to buy Bitcoin, which is not affected by the economy of their specific currency. A lot of people don't like the financial systems that exist. And they want to rebel against that. And majority of them say, you know what? I'm not going to keep my money in a bank. I'm not going to keep my money. I'm going to keep my money in cryptocurrency. Yes, there's the third one, which is the tech behind it. There are people that are really driven by tech, that love where technology is going, and that just want to be able to be involved in that. So there's lots of different reasons. Welcome back to the Best Finance Show, where we help you become your financial best. Thank you so much for every single person that has subscribed. And if you have not yet subscribed, do the right thing and become a subscriber. Now, last week, I came in here and I showed you the Bitcoin prices and we opened up a trade. And I said to you, I will be updating you on how the trade has performed. And today is that day where I'll be updating each and every one of you on the trade. As you know, we've got an account with OKX. We're trading with OKX. Why? I like their platform. It's really nice to trade with. And if you want to trade with them, you're able to now. We opened up a BTC USDT trade. Our size was $859 and entry price was sitting at $55,448 and today the price is at $57,000. So as you can see, we are up by 165%. And we are up by $27. Now, remember, I said to you, this is not my main account. This is an account that I show publicly to assist you understand how the markets work. And if you see, remember what I said to you last week. When you go into the markets and people are full of fear in the markets, do the opposite of what people are full of because money favors the brave. Now, Ethereum, we did the same trade and it's also up by 11%. And we've made $3.53. Now, why am I doing this? Why am I showing you this? To show you the results and transparency that we are going through. Now, I said to you, I will not be leveraging high amounts. I'm going to be leveraging small amounts. But as time goes by, we'll get into more leveraging higher amounts, what we can do, some strategies we can use, and how we can basically get into the trading rhythm of things and making money practically by showing you here on the Best Finance Show. So if you are new here at the Best Finance Show, we are a community, we're a family. We've got a WhatsApp group that we include in the description that you can be a part of by contacting the number and we'll add you onto the WhatsApp group. But we're a community that's trying to be our financial best. And that's really what we are doing. Now, there are some questions that came in. And today I want to start off with some of the questions that came in from people that have been watching the Best Finance Show. And remember, I said to you, I will answer all questions that you put in the comment section. And here is the first question. Penwell says, is it healthy for someone like me who doesn't have knowledge to buy and hold Bitcoin? And there's an answer here saying yes, but you need to keep learning about it. Remember that experiencing it is the best way to learn. That's true. So you can buy Bitcoin on a cryptocurrency exchange and you can hold it. Is it healthy? Yes, but we advise that you keep learning so that you know when you want to sell, you know how to transact, but most importantly, do it yourself so you don't get scammed. Then there's Mudao who says, I'm so grateful for this platform and I want to use this opportunity to learn as much as I can because I've been looking for a mentor and I guess this is God answering my prayers. Please share the WhatsApp group. I don't want to miss anything. Thanks, Mr. Mpotagada. And we've responded by sending him the WhatsApp group that he can be a part of. Now, there are some other questions that have come through. Some of them we have already answered, but I'm just trying to go through the ones that have not yet been answered. Now, there is another question here which says, can you advise on how one can select which Bitcoin to buy, the key things to look at? And then they say, and I was just curious if there's a difference between buying Bitcoin or Ethereum in easy equities and other platforms. Is the performance the same? And there are some answers here. So basically he's saying, look, many of these platforms have now got Bitcoin on it. Is it the same as buying on an exchange when you buy it on easy equities or on all the other platforms? It isn't the same. And maybe let me explain. Many of the platforms allow you to trade in a simulation of the actual coin. Now, I usually prefer that if you're buying Bitcoin, you buy the actual coin and you keep it on an exchange. Why? There are no fees. You aren't charged anything for that. Now, when you buy it off a platform like Easy Equities, there tends to be fees, there tends to be a spread involved, and you tend not to have bought the actual asset. You're trading it. So maybe let me break this down for somebody who doesn't understand. What people have done in the markets is they have created ETFs, exchange traded funds. They have created a simulation of the actual fund. So, for example, somebody can create a simulation of the US dollar, and when you're trading, you're not necessarily trading the US dollar per se, you're trading that a simulation they've created, but that is linked to the US dollar. So I'd always say I don't quite like the assimilation. I rather trade or buy the actual asset. And that's why I'd say if you want to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, buy the actual asset on an exchange. If you're in South Africa, you can use Altcoin Trader. They're really great. Or you can use OKX that I'm using, or Binance, but just make sure that you use a trusted exchange. Now, when it comes to exchanges, people usually ask me and say, Mpho, what exchange should we use? What's the right exchange that we should be using to get involved in cryptocurrency? Now, what I always look at when it comes to exchanges, I come through to CoinMarketCap and I look at what is the rank of that exchange. Now, the biggest exchange in the world is Binance. The second one is Coinbase Exchange. Now, Coinbase Exchange is in the US, and it is very difficult to get involved with if you're not a US citizen. And the third one is OKX. Now, I advise Binance and OKX, and I've shared my links to Binance and OKX. When you sign up using my link, it's my referral link, so you're able to actually use that if you do want to sign up for that exchange. Now, what's important for each and every one of us to note is that when it comes to the cryptocurrency market, there is risk involved in the market. What's important is that you need to check, is your exchange, number one, reputable? But most importantly, I always say deal with the biggest, because the biggest is usually the best in cases where they are the best. I always say deal with the top ones. So I'd say Binance and I'd say OKX. They've got good trading volumes. Their prices are also good. So that's my advice. But what I want us to look at today, I want us to look at somebody who wants to build their cryptocurrency portfolio. You're saying, Mpho, I've got 1,000 Rand, or I've got $100, I've got $200, I've got $300. What should I be doing? Because right now I think the prices of the market have lowered, and I think it's a good opportunity for anybody to get involved in cryptocurrency. So let's look at it now. What is my advice? And I'm going to base this on $100 to say, if you got $100, what should you be doing? Now remember, when I mention prices, I'm basically mentioning them out of 100%. So you can choose whether it's 100,000, whether it's 10,000, whether it's, you basically take my numbers in percentage. Now, how would I break down if I had funds? Now, the first thing I would do is I would start by buying Bitcoin. And let me explain why. Because if you look at the graph of Bitcoin, and this is the graph of Bitcoin from all time, right? Ever since Bitcoin started up until date, this is the graph of Bitcoin. And it's got a lot of stuff that it's written on it here. But if you just look through the stuff and you look at the actual graph, you are able to see. But I'm going to click on Trading View so that we can see it from a trader's perspective, right? The graph of Bitcoin, and I want us to look at the graph of Bitcoin so that we're together in an analysis. But I also want us to look at it. So right now it's on a day view, and I want us to look at it from basically where it started and where it is at the moment. So maybe let's go over to 12 months. Let me try and just increase the months there and the ranges there so that everybody can sort of see it. Let's do that. Now, my issue with Trading View is that once it starts doing this, it doesn't really want to go back into time. It's sort of showing 2017 till date, and I want it to go further down and basically show us from inception till date. Maybe let's take 6 months, so 2020. Now, you can change the Trading View to suit whatever you want to see or the way that you want to see it, but let's basically base it from 2017 till date, right? Now, what you can see from here is that Bitcoin from 2017 been going down, but it's been going up, down and up. But where it started to where it is today, you can see that it's on an upward trajectory. So you can see that from 2017 up until 2024, Bitcoin has been increasing. So Bitcoin, for me, has proven the test of time because it's been increasing. It's been on an upward trajectory. So I would say out of your 100%, I would say 80% of that, put it in Bitcoin. That's what I would do. 80% in Bitcoin. Now, let's move on to the second coin, which has the largest market cap, which is Ethereum. Now, Ethereum, if we go into Ethereum and you look at the graph of Ethereum, and maybe let's go to all for Ethereum. We'll keep it here. Now, if you look at Ethereum, we have the same thing, but the difference with Ethereum is at its peak, Ethereum once hit very, very high, which is about 4,000 US dollars. And right now it's on 3,000. So it did hit a peak and then it sort of has come down, and that's what we're seeing there. So I would put 5% into Ethereum. So we've got 80% into Bitcoin, 5% into Ethereum. Then what I would do after that, let's go back, is USDT. You wouldn't do that because that's the US dollar. BNB. So I would then come into BNB, Solana, XRP, Toncoin, Dogecoin, and Cardano. I would then come into each of those with my 15%. I would then split it amongst each of those. Now, from my 15%, what am I doing? I am buying 1% of each of these. So I'm spending 1% on BNB. Remember, we've got 80% on Bitcoin. We've got 5% on Ethereum, 1% BNB, 1% Solana, 1% XRP, 1% Toncoin, 1% Dogecoin, and 1% ADA. Are we clear? So 80% Bitcoin, 5% Ethereum, and the 1%, the rest of them that are in the top 10. We're not buying USDT and USDC because these are representations of the dollar. Then with the rest of the funds, which is very little left, I would then look for new opportunity coins that I like based on what the coins actually do. Now, let's say, for example, that you like Polygon. How do you search what Polygon can do? If you click on Polygon and you go to the website of Polygon, you'd be able to understand what Polygon does. It's a Web3 aggregated, enabling an infinitely scalable web of sovereign blockchains that feels like a single chain, powered by ZK Tech. Build, stake, use Polygon. So I would base the rest of my funds based on, do I like the project? Is it my type of project? Is it something that I want to get involved with? Now, what I've explained right now is a very safe strategy and a very safe way of doing things. And if you don't want to overexert your risk, you want to do that safely, you're able to do that on OKX, you're able to do that on Binance. And I always say, please use my link to sign up. Yes, once you use my link, I do get a referral from these companies, but it's very little. And yeah, that's it. So it's important to understand that these coins that I've mentioned, for me, the reason why I'd advise them, especially for people that are a bit more elderly, is because they're stable. It's because they are consistent. And it's also because they have proven that they've got majority of the funds. So when they went out there and they looked for people to invest in money, they basically received the highest market cap. So there is some perception there to say that, you know what, these are the coins that do have the highest amount of funds. Now, you might be saying right now to say, okay, Mpho, we've heard about these coins that are safe. Let's go to the high risk. And we're going to talk about the high risk in our next episode to say, what are then those coins that people get involved with and they really explode? What should you be doing? What should you look out for? What's the right strategy? What's the wrong strategy about them? And I'll show them to you, and I'll also share some information about what I think about them. But if you go on CoinMarketCap, let me just go back, and you click on trending, you click on more, you'll go to the gainers and the losers. What is this? So the gainers are the coins that have grown the most in the last 24 hours. So here you've got something that's grown by 15% only in 24 hours. I mean, this is drastic growth in a very short space of time. And then you've also got the losers that have fallen very quickly. So there is also that element of high risk here. There is also that element of people that say, you know what, we want something that's a bit fast. How does that work? And I'm going to explain that moving on in the episodes. But in this specific episode, I want to end it off by explaining why I think Bitcoin is the consistent one. And I know, yes, I'm Mr. Bitcoin. I've written a book on Bitcoin. But for me, the reason why Bitcoin is the most consistent one is because if you look at the all-time graph of Bitcoin, you really get to see that over time, the more people hear and understand about Bitcoin, the more people get involved in Bitcoin. And the reason why that is, by the way, is because the more people understand why Bitcoin exists and why people want to get involved into Bitcoin. And I want to just break it down for you because a lot of people don't understand it. And I think over the years, I've really come to understand this. The first reason why Bitcoin exists is because there are a lot of people in this world that live in economies that they are not happy about. For example, Nigeria. The economy, the Nigerian naira just keeps on decreasing. People are not happy about that. There are countries where war breaks out. And when war breaks out, if you've got cash in the bank or you've got money, that money begins to decrease because your currency is then affected. What do those people do? Majority of those people are able to buy Bitcoin, which is not affected by the economy of their specific currency. So it's an escape for many people that are in countries or in places where they end up losing a lot of money because of what has happened. I mean, take for example, you're in a country, you own a company, you've got shares in a company, a war breaks out. You lose those shares or they go down to zero. So if you're in Bitcoin, whether there's a war or not, you've got an alternative place that you're in that will not be affected by the political situation. So a lot of people love that about cryptocurrency. So they're not affected by the political situation. The second most important thing that I've always found is that a lot of people don't like the financial systems that exist. There are a lot of people in this world that don't like the way that banks function. They don't like the way that economies function. And they want to rebel against that. And majority of them say, you know what? I'm not going to keep my money in a bank. I'm not going to keep my money. I'm going to keep my money in cryptocurrency. Yes, there's the third one, which many people talk about. The fact that there are a lot of drug dealers and criminals that keep their money in Bitcoin because they don't want it to be seized and everything else. Yes, that is true. We can't ignore that. There have been reports that have said that. So that is true. And the fourth one that I think is quite important is the tech behind it. There are people that are really driven by tech, that love where technology is going, and that just want to be able to be involved in that. So you always find different people for different reasons that get involved into cryptocurrencies. Then there's also the traders as well. So there's lots of different reasons. And for me, you know, one of the people that I've met that was really or played a very important critical role in cryptocurrencies for me was understanding that people want freedom and majority of people don't have freedom with their money. And cryptocurrency or Bitcoin becomes freedom for them because it's not affected by the bank. It can't be attached by somebody. It's not affected by the political situation. It is freedom from the current financial system that is controlled by those mechanisms. And I think that for me was one of the biggest things that I learned about cryptocurrencies, to say a lot of people want freedom. And as a result of that, they want to pull out and make sure that they don't experience that. But yeah, that's it. So that's what I'd do. If I had funds and I didn't want to risk them too much, that's exactly what I'd do. And remember, never allow anybody else to help you with this process because many people have had their cryptocurrency stolen because of people that were trying to help them and ended up stealing from them. Make sure that you learn to do it yourself. And if you don't learn to do it yourself, contact me in the description and I'll assign somebody who will be able to assist you throughout that process to make sure that you are not scammed or robbed in the process. Now, in the next episode, we're going to talk about some of the high risk stuff, some of the high risks that people take. How do people take high risks? What should you be doing? What do you safeguard against? Can you make a lot of money by taking high risks? What are the sort of high risks? These big gainers and these big losers, what is the difference there? So we'll talk a little bit about that and we'll go through into more detail so that you're able to understand that. But for myself, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to subscribe and share this video with as many people as possible, and see you soon on the best finance show. Thank you.